Welcome back to the PMU Entrepreneur Bible, where I'm giving you the secrets to accelerate your permanent makeup career now. Chapter 2, A New Lease on Life. One of the most daunting tasks for any new or experienced artist is selecting the studio location that they will offer their services in. Selecting a space can be very personal. Some may desire a lot of foot traffic and open windows looking in to garner attention. Others may seek a nook off the beaten path with a spa vibe and privacy. There's no right or wrong, as long as your clients can quickly and easily find you wherever you choose to be. What is most important to consider is the leasing structure of that space. Whether you're renting the space out of another person's already licensed tattoo shop or salon, or setting up your own standalone studio, you need to consider the payment structure that will be expected, including the term limit of the lease. Most salons offer a weekly or daily room rate fee to use a defined space within a larger studio. This can be ideal for artists starting out, as it allows them the flexibility to add days as they add clients to their roster. The biggest challenge of this agreement is sharing that space with others that may use it during the week to offer their distinct services. In a shared space agreement, you should expect to take important things home with you or move them out of the room to storage to avoid missing or damaged items when you return later in the week to work with your clients. If you are a new artist in an already established tattoo studio, instead of including a chair rental fee, they may expect you to pay commission or a percentage of what you're paid for each client to work in that studio space. In a commission-based agreement, the expectation would be that some of your tattoo supplies and equipment be provided by the shop to avoid the added expense of purchasing it independently. This can be a beneficial agreement for new artists, as you're only paying commission when you're working with a paid client. Whereas in the salon agreement, the day rate may be charged whether or not you see clients that day or not. Regardless of the rental agreement you choose to enter, be sure that you ask to see a contract to read the fine print and understand the terms of the agreement, including time frame of the lease and what's included for use in the building once you enter that lease. For example, are cleaning services, trash removal, sharps disposal included or additional? I don't recommend entering into any lease agreement without a signed contract with defined terms, especially if you will be keeping equipment on site. As a lessee without a contract, you still have rights to retrieve your property if the relationship with your shop owner were to dissolve suddenly. However, you don't want to find yourself in a situation where you show up to the shop one day and find out nothing is left inside and the owner has closed up shop without notifying anyone. I say this only because I've unfortunately heard of it happening with other artists, especially during COVID when lessors were unable to pay their leases. I've also had a falling out with a shop owner I was renting from without a contract. When the relationship was strained towards the end, I realized how powerless I was in that situation to continue running my business without a stable location to welcome clients where I also felt welcome. Even when the relationship is contentious with a lessor with a contract, the document tends to hold both parties more accountable than a handshake agreement. If you decide to open your own standalone studio location, understand that it has its own set of headaches. Leasing your own studio may include new construction or light carpentry, which can quickly become expensive. Decorating a studio space in your brand colors and aesthetic is fun at first, but adds up exponentially. Having your own studio usually involves signage on an exterior marquee, which involves applying for city permits to meet certain requirements that may limit what you can display. Don't forget, once you fill that new beautiful space with the chairs, the equipment, the lighting, the clients have to know where to find you and fill the space in order to pay the monthly rent. While it is beneficial to rent the larger space to independent contractors or hire employees, it's also not as easy as it sounds. As someone that has rented my studio space to independent contractors in the past, my biggest observation is that nobody will keep your studio as clean and presentable to the public as you will, even when it's clearly written in the contract. As tattoo artists, there's an additional layer of preparation before we're able to open our studio to the public. Most counties, states, and countries will require a licensed tattoo shop inspection prior to allowing the artist to safely open the studio for services. This inspection process is straightforward and similar to both states I've practiced in. When you apply for a tattoo shop license, you must specify the location of the shop and the name that you'll be operating under. The business name should match your LLC, and unless you're doing business under a DBA or applying to do business as a different name. Once your local health department or Secretary of State receives your license request, they will send out a licensed health inspector to verify the space has all necessary cleaning supplies, tattoo tools, and shop equipment required to safely operate with the public. In order to become fully licensed, most states also require you complete a 3-hour bloodborne pathogen exam and understand the importance of operating a clean facility. If you're not required to complete an inspection prior to opening your studio but would like to learn more, you can refer to these inspection guides online with your local state entity. When setting up your permanent makeup studio, some universal requirements include good lighting, usually over 100 lumens per 10 square feet, in order to ensure that you can see the area you're tattooing clearly. Having direct daylight is optimal, but not necessary. The floors also must be washable material and never carpeting. The seating and storage furniture must also be made of washable materials such as wood, plastic, vinyl, or leather. Fuzzy fabrics on client workspaces that are not laundered between clients are discouraged, as they can become contaminated and spread infections between clients. When I owned my tattoo studio on the main street of my hometown, people that came in often asked if I had time for a quick trim. They usually commented that the shop looked like a hair salon or a doctor's office, but never a tattoo studio at first glance. That was a very conscious decision as a registered nurse in order to keep the shop area appearing as clean and uncluttered as possible so that the client had no questions about the sanitation of the studio. I performed my apprenticeship at a tattoo studio where there was taxidermy on the walls, and the look on the face of my PMU clients that walked in made it very clear that the old school tattoo aesthetic was incredibly intimidating. Your clients should never reconsider their tattoo appointment based upon the cleanliness of your space. If you've made it to Chapter 3 of the PMU Entrepreneur Bible, you're now discovering the secrets of how to accelerate your PMU career. I'm Nurse Tracy, and I'm excited to discuss with you how to pick a PMU trainer.